Hello everyone, I'm Miss Heather from the Tewksbury Public Library. I'd like to welcome you back to Little Einsteins. Today we are going to be talking about a math topic. We will be talking about shapes. So if you have your bag of supplies from the library, that's great. You'll definitely need that. There's some papers in there that you will need. If you don't have a bag of supplies from the library, you will need some pipe cleaners. If you have some Q-tips or toothpicks, that will be great to have. Inside the bags you should have a Tangram sheet, and this sheet has a puzzle on there and it has the pieces attached. And you also have a page inside called pattern blocks. You'll need to cut out these shapes because we'll be using those to explore with. And you should also have a sheet that looks like this, and we'll be using this for our pattern block exploration. So gather everything that you have. If you don't have those things, I put the links to the PDFs below, so you should be able to print those out. Get those things and meet me right back here. All right, so the first shape that we'll be talking about today is the triangle. And this is the green one on your pattern block sheet. The triangle has 3 sides. Let's count them together. 1, 2, 3 sides. And those 3 sides also make 3 points. 1, 2, 3. So that's how we know it's a triangle. TRI, the first part of the word triangle, is short for 3. And that's another way to remember. Our next shape today is the square. This one has 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. Our square is orange, and you know it's a square because it has 4 sides that are all the same length. And that's what makes it a square. Our next shape today is the rhombus. That's that blue one that you have. The rhombus is a little bit similar to a square. It has 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. But the rhombus has some lines that are diagonal. So the square goes up and down, and the rhombus is diagonal. So that's how you know that's the rhombus. And then in addition to the large rhombus, there's also a small rhombus that you have. This one also has 4 sides and 4 points. And this one's just a little bit skinnier than the other rhombus. The other shape that you have here is a trapezoid. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. And this one is also red. And our trapezoid here takes this shape. It has some lines that are more diagonal. It has some lines that go across. And then last but not least, we have the hexagon. The hexagon has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. Our hexagon is yellow, and this one is the biggest shape that we have on our pattern block sheet. So now we can explore our shapes a little bit. We'll need our shapes worksheet here. And this shows us different ways that we can make the hexagons using these shapes that we already have. So first, it asks us to fill in what each of the shapes are. And then you'll notice it asks to make 2 blocks to fill this shape. So we'll use 2 blocks to fill that shape. And then we'll keep going with the trapezoid. We'll use 2 blocks and then 3 blocks. And then with the hexagon, we'll use 1 block. And then we'll use the other blocks that we have. For example, 2 blocks, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Who knows how many blocks you'll be able to fit on your hexagons. So that's what we'll be exploring today. the shapes and sort of how they relate to each other. And you can use this sheet that you have to do your exploring. Have fun. All right, the next thing that we'll be doing is with our pipe cleaners and our Q-tips or toothpicks, whatever you have to use. So now I'd like you to use these tools to make different shapes and to explore all of the shapes that you can make and see how many different sides you can put on one of your shapes. Maybe you use it with your Q-tips. Maybe you use your pipe cleaner to make a shape with a lot of sides. But however you want to explore, making a shape with pipe cleaners and or your toothpicks, and have some fun and see what kind of shapes that you make. And up next, we'll be exploring tangrams. Tangram is an ancient Chinese geometric puzzle that has a square that's cut into 7 pieces, and those 7 pieces can be arranged to create different figures. So I just took out my pieces out of my bag. You can see that I can make a square out of my pieces, and I know that I have enough to work on the tangram puzzle. So I'm going to use my pieces, or the tans here, to fill in the spots on my silly swan. And I'll use big triangles for the big triangle spots, and just filling in all of the spots. And these puzzles where you fill in the shapes help us get used to making different pictures out of our tangrams. And once you get more comfortable with tangrams, I definitely recommend taking some time to explore and making up your own patterns and shapes. Maybe you want to build something like a rocket ship, or maybe you want to try to make a bunny rabbit. But whatever you want to try to make out of these tans or tangram pieces, it's really fun and interesting to have someone try to guess what you make. When you're making something with tangrams, you want to make sure that none of your pieces overlap. They don't go on top of each other. They just go right next to each other. So that's the closest that they can get right there. Because if they were too close, they'd be overlapping, and then that wouldn't be the point of using tangrams. So the point is that you want to just put them next to each other without touching on top of one another. So today, during Little Einstein Science, we explored shapes. We talked about shapes are things that have sides and also points. And we also talked about how shapes can relate to one another and how shapes can all work together to make up a picture. I hope you had fun today, learning and exploring. I hope you join me next time for our next video. You can subscribe to our channel so you get notifications when we post something new. Thanks for watching today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again. Bye-bye.